There are words that can calm a storm, heal the broken, and awaken the dead. Words that pierce the heart and yet mend it. Words that change history, conquer fear, and open the gates of heaven. 2,000 years ago, such words were spoken by a man who had no army, no throne, and no wealth, yet his voice still echoes across centuries. His name is Jesus Christ, and his words remain the most powerful ever spoken. Today, we will explore why his words still heal, still convict, and still save. But before we begin, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and share this message with the world. Somewhere out there is someone who needs to hear this. Someone on the edge of despair. Someone searching for truth. Let us be part of God's work by spreading his word to every nation, every heart, and every home. Stay with me to the end, and you will see why the words of Jesus Christ are not only timeless, but eternally alive. When Jesus first opened his mouth to teach, the world had already heard 1,000 philosophies. Greek thinkers spoke of reason, Roman emperors of law, Jewish rabbis of tradition. Yet when Jesus spoke, something entirely new filled the air. Not mere instruction, but revelation. He did not speculate about God. He spoke as God. He did not quote others for authority. His own words were authority. The Gospels record that the people were astonished, saying, "No one ever spoke like this man. Indeed, no one ever has." What made his words so powerful? It was not eloquence, though his language was perfect. It was not volume, though his voice could command a sea. It was truth, absolute, divine truth spoken in love. Each word he uttered carried the creative power that spoke the universe into being. When he said, "Let there be light at creation," light appeared. And when he said, "I am the light of the world," the darkness trembled again. Consider his first public teaching, the Sermon on the Mount. Standing on a hillside, without scrolls, podium, or amplification, he redefined what it meant to be. Blessed. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. In one sentence, he turned the world's values upside down. To a people crushed under Rome's empire and burdened by religion's legalism, he offered a new kind of kingdom, not one of conquest, but of compassion. His words did not flatter. They liberated. They pierced the illusions of human pride and revealed a God who cared for the humble, the meek, the merciful. The power of Jesus' words lies not only in their content, but in their impact. They never left people neutral. The same sentence could bring comfort to one heart and conviction to another. When he said, "Come, follow me," fishermen left their nets. Tax collectors abandoned their tables. Sinners turned from their shame, and the sick found healing. Yet the proud, the powerful, and the self-righteous trembled, because his words exposed what lies beneath all masks. The truth. He spoke with divine simplicity. He used stories of seeds, sheep, and coins, everyday things, to unveil eternal mysteries. When he said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed," he was revealing that God's reign begins small but grows unstoppable. When he told of the prodigal son, he revealed the Father's heart more clearly than any theology book ever could. That parable alone has healed more souls than volumes of philosophy, because in it, every sinner finds themselves lost, broken, and yet still loved. But there were moments when his words carried a different kind of power. The power to command the elements, to rebuke sickness, to silence demons. One night, When a storm threatened to sink the disciples' boat, they cried out in fear. Jesus rose and said only 3 words, "Peace, be still." Immediately, the wind ceased and the sea became calm. The disciples were terrified, not of the storm, but of the one who had just spoken to it. "Who is this?" they whispered, "that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Those words remind us that the voice which created the cosmos still governs it. His words also carried the power to forgive. To the paralyzed man lowered through the roof, he said, "Son, your sins are forgiven." And then, to prove his authority, "Rise, take up your bed, and walk." Instantly, the man stood. Theologians have debated for centuries the mystery of how divine authority and human speech meet in the person of Jesus. But one thing remains undeniable. When Jesus spoke, heaven touched earth. His words were not mere sound. They were spirit and life. Even his enemies could not escape their influence. The Pharisees tried to trap him with questions, but every attempt only revealed his mastery. "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's." In one sentence, he defined the relationship between faith and politics for all of history. "Let him who is without sin cast the first stone." With those few words, he dismantled hypocrisy and introduced mercy as divine justice. When Pilate questioned him, Jesus said, "For this reason I was born, to testify to the truth." Pilate cynically replied, "What is truth?" Yet truth itself stood before him in silence. The powerful words of Jesus do not end with history. They continue to speak today. Across centuries, countless lives have been transformed by a single verse. Augustine heard, "Take and read," and his heart turned to Christ. Francis of Assisi heard, "Sell what you have and give to the poor." And a movement of compassion was born. Millions have found hope in the promise, "I am with you always, even to the end of the age." His words do not fade. They plant themselves in hearts and bear fruit through generations. Part of what makes Jesus' words eternally powerful is that they unite wisdom and grace. He could speak to scholars in the temple and to children on the street with equal clarity. He addressed the intellect and the conscience, the mind and the heart. Theologians have long noted that in his teaching, divine truth meets human need. His wisdom was not abstract speculation, but living guidance. He did not merely reveal heaven. He taught us how to live on earth. When he said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you," he summarized the moral essence of every religion, yet transcended them all by grounding it in love of God. The power of his words also lies in their consistency. Unlike philosophers who contradicted themselves, or prophets who only pointed forward, Jesus' words were perfectly one with his life. He practiced everything he preached. When he said, "Love your enemies," he loved his executioners. When he said, "Forgive 70 times 7, he forgave from the cross. When he said, "Blessed are the pure in heart," he embodied purity itself. The credibility of his words rests not on rhetoric but on reality, the alignment between message and messenger. Even silence became part of his speech. When accused unjustly before the Sanhedrin, he said nothing, fulfilling Isaiah's prophecy of the Lamb led to slaughter. That silence was louder than any defense. When hanging on the cross, his 7 last sayings remain among the most powerful words ever uttered. "Father, forgive them. Today you will be with me in paradise. It is finished." Each phrase carried the full weight of divine redemption. When he said, "It is finished," the world shifted. Sin's sentence was cancelled. Death's grip was broken. Those 3 words turned despair into deliverance for every generation to come after his resurrection. His words carried even greater power. To Mary Magdalene, weeping at the tomb, he simply said her name, Mary. That one word transformed sorrow into joy. To his fearful disciples, he said, "Peace be with you." To Thomas, he said, "Do not doubt, but believe." To Peter, who had denied him, he said, "Feed my sheep." Each word restored what was broken. Each command carried forgiveness and purpose. Even now, his voice still calls us by name, still offers peace, still gives mission. The history of the church is, in a sense, the history of his words continuing to work. They built civilizations, shaped laws, inspired art, and comforted martyrs. His words have crossed languages, cultures, and empires. They have survived persecution, burned manuscripts, and skeptical attacks. Yet every generation finds them fresh, relevant, and alive. The reason is simple. His words are not bound to time because their author is eternal. As he himself said, "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away." What do these words mean for us today? In a world flooded with information but starving for truth, the words of Jesus remain a compass. They cut through confusion, expose falsehood, and offer clarity. When he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life," he is not offering an opinion, he is declaring reality. In him, the fragmented pieces of our world find coherence. His teachings on forgiveness heal relationships. His warnings about greed and hypocrisy reveal the sickness of our societies. His promises give courage to the oppressed, and his commandments humble the proud. Spiritually, his words are living seeds. When planted in a receptive heart, they produce transformation. "The words I have spoken to you," he said, "are spirit and life." That means when you read them, they read you. When you hear them, they hear you. They search the heart and reveal both its wounds and its potential. They are not like human speeches that fade when the applause ends. They stay, they grow, they multiply. Many people today admire Jesus as a teacher but stop short of accepting him as Lord. Yet the power of his words demands a response. No one can encounter his truth and remain unchanged. When he says, "Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it," he exposes the paradox of life itself. To live fully, you must surrender. When he says, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul?" he confronts every false god we chase: success, pleasure, fame. His words do not merely educate, they liberate. If you listen carefully, you can still hear his words speaking across the noise of the world. To the weary, he says, "Come to me, and I will give you rest." To the anxious, "Do not be afraid." To the sinner, "Neither do I condemn you." To the dying thief, "Today you will be with me in paradise." And to every believer, "I am with you always." There is no life so broken, no heart so hard, that his words cannot reach it. Even now, the same Jesus who spoke by the Sea of Galilee speaks through the pages of Scripture and the whisper of his Spirit. The voice that calms storms can calm your mind. The words that cast out demons can cast out fear. The command that raised Lazarus can raise you from despair. Listen, and you will hear him. Believe, and you will see him. Obey, and you will be transformed. The powerful words of Jesus Christ are not only historical quotations, they are living communication. They reveal who God is and who we can become. They carry the authority of creation, the compassion of redemption, and the promise of eternity. To hear them is to encounter the divine. To follow them is to find life. So as this message comes to an end, I invite you to carry his words into your own world. Let them shape your thoughts, season your speech, and guide your steps. Read the Gospels not as distant history, but as letters written personally to you. Let his words dwell richly in your heart, until your own words begin to sound like his, full of grace, truth, and power. Share this message. Subscribe, not for fame, but for faith. Help spread the words that still change the world. Somewhere, someone is waiting for hope, and you can be the voice that delivers it. Because long after every empire has fallen, every philosophy forgotten, and every language silenced, one voice will still be heard. The voice that said, "Come unto me." And in that voice, every hopeless soul will find hope again. The words of Jesus Christ are not history's echo, they are eternity's heartbeat, and they are speaking to you even now.